Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Vendors return to downtown Rockford for City Market after an unexpected week away. New changes aim to prevent more cancellations.
The results are in after Rockford parents weigh in on what they want their child's back-to-school experience to look like. The numbers district leaders call surprising.
And the state line has a new Powerball millionaire. Get those tickets out. We'll let you know where the lucky ticket was sold.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Both the Winnebago and Boone County Health Departments are working with Fiat Chrysler to investigate COVID-19 infections at the Belvedere plant.
Officials did not say how many cases there are. Both health departments are conducting contact tracing protocols to help minimize community spread. We'll continue to monitor this story and give you an update as soon as we learn more information. After a week away due to concerns about protests in downtown Rockford, City Market returns.
Some changes have been made. The perimeter of City Market's been expanded. Waterside Park is now part of the grounds. Joe Marino Park has been assigned as a protest zone. Rockford police say demonstrators who move outside the area or try to block traffic could be arrested.
Some protesters have been planning to return to City Market in hopes of drawing attention to what they call police brutality. Brittany Toulis is there. She joins us now live. Brittany, how's it looking?
Eric and Mimi, about a handful of demonstrators have just arrived at the Joe Marino Park and have set up behind me in that designated protest area. But just to the right of me is one of many RPD vehicles and officers set up around the market. At this week's City Market, cones marking off patron lines aren't the only barriers organizers have set up. Like I said, Joe Marino Park is completely fenced off, marking where protesters can and can't demonstrate. RPD vehicles and officers are all along the perimeter of now expanded market grounds. Security cameras are overlooking City Market. I've been here since the market started at 3:30, and other than the noise from the food trucks and music playing, it's been pretty peaceful so far. I did speak with one man who's here for the first time this year. He said he planned to go to last week's market but had to change his plans because that market was canceled. He told me seeing the protest barriers was pretty intimidating at first.
I think that is a good idea. It makes me feel a little more comfortable being here. There's really nothing to be upset about being down here. It's really nice.
I'll be sticking with the protest for several hours and we'll keep you updated on anything that happens. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from a food truck that is parked right next to the designated protest area. But for now, live in Rockford, Brittany Toulis, Eyewitness News.
Brittany, thanks for the live report.
A second man wanted in connection to a Freeport motel murder is arrested. Travion Harvey was taken into custody by Chicago police yesterday. Police say Harvey and Willie Love gunned down a 30-year-old male victim. Love has already been arrested. Both men are charged with first-degree murder. This happened last Saturday at Freeport's Townhouse Motel. The victim died at the scene after he was shot several times. Police released these security camera images. Harvey's waiting extradition back to Stevenson County.
Police look to the public for help finding a man they say led more than half a dozen agencies on a chase before crashing into a squad car. They're looking for this man, Donald Powell. He's wanted on a warrant out of Indiana. The chase started this morning in Rock Falls. It ended near Progress Drive and Dutch Road in Dixon. Police say Powell hit a Dixon squad car before he ran off. Powell's considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information about where he might be, call the Lee County Sheriff's Office.
After a week of receiving surveys from Rockford Public School parents, the results are in. About 9,500 chose to return to the classroom this fall, and 9,800 want e-learning only.
Dylan Strachey joins us now. Dylan, these results surprised district administrators.
Yeah, that's right. It did surprise them. But Superintendent Aaron Jarrett tells me it won't necessarily overhaul his back-to-school plan.
That does make the safety protocols slightly easier to implement.
However, there's still nearly 6,000 families that haven't yet made their choice between in-person and remote instruction. Initially, the district said those students would have been auto-enrolled into in-person learning and not provided transportation. But with so many missing surveys, they're holding off.
We're calling families 2, 3, 4 times if that's what it takes. We're doing robocalls, we're doing text messages, we're trying to hit in as many ways as we can, and we're working very, very intensely to make sure that those families do have an opportunity to make a choice.
Jarrett says even if a majority of families who haven't responded to the survey choose in-person instruction, keeping class sizes to less than 20 students is a top priority.
We think that is the best way to ensure that our staff feels safe and that we feel good about students and staff being safe as a district. So we will find a way to get there, and the way the numbers are coming in, we're extremely confident we're going to be able to do so.
The amount of students choosing to stay home also means all kids who need to take the bus to school should have no problem doing so.
We do anticipate buses will have some excess capacity as a result of 50% of our families opting into remote instruction.
As for RPS teachers, there will be at least 150 openings to teach strictly online. All they have to do is apply. Only current RPS teachers will be considered, but priority will be given to those most at risk of getting COVID-19.
There are some staff that have pre-existing conditions, and we have a medical process where those will be the individuals who are offered the opportunity to do remote learning.
One other change to the back-to-school plan, since more students opted for remote learning, Jarrett says early childhood students now have the option for half-day remote learning. In Rockford, for your home team, I'm Dylan Saraki.
Another local school district gets a first-hand look at the challenges facing schools as kids return to class. 24 Meridian School District employees are or have been quarantined for exposure to COVID-19. 2 are Stillman Valley teachers. The employees have either been exposed to someone who is showing symptoms, have tested positive for the virus, or are showing symptoms of their own. Meridian teachers return next Tuesday. Students come back a week later. The district's opted for a hybrid schedule that includes face-to-face classes twice a week. Parents were also given the option of remote learning only. 16% of students took that path.
Winnebago County joins the list of Illinois counties health officials say are at warning level for new COVID infections. The others are throughout the state. Not on the list is Joe Daviess County. It had been named last week. According to the Illinois Department of Public Health, the county saw outbreaks tied to businesses and long-term care facilities. Large social gatherings and out-of-state travels also blamed. It's not clear what triggered the warning in Winnebago County. We've reached out to the Winnebago County Health Department. Officials say they will address it at a press conference Monday. Statewide, Illinois sees its biggest increase in new COVID cases since May. Nearly 2,100 new cases were confirmed in the last 24 hours. 21 people died. The state's 7-day positivity rate is on the rise as well. It now sits at 4.1%. Since the start of the pandemic, more than 190,000 Illinoisans have been infected with coronavirus. 7,600 have died.
If you bought a Powerball ticket in Loves Park last weekend, you might want to double-check those numbers. A $1 million winning ticket was sold at this mobile station on North 2nd. The winning numbers are 6, 25, 36, 43, and 48. They're on your screen there on the bottom as well. Winners have a year to claim their prize. The gas station's a winner, too. It will get $10,000 for selling that winning ticket. Operation is mounting in Washington after negotiators over a new coronavirus relief bill failed to reach a deal.
Now the president says he's considering taking action without Congress. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the nation's capital. Democrats are pushing a package costing $3 trillion. Senate Republicans say that's too much and want to keep the price tag closer to $1 trillion. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's developing plans for multiple executive orders if a bipartisan deal can't be reached. That could include a payroll tax cut, unemployment benefits, and eviction protections.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin wants to make sure a final COVID relief bill includes more funding for the post office. USPS has been feeling the strain with more packages being delivered by mail during the pandemic. The Postal Service recently banned mail carriers from getting overtime. Durbin says that creates a major roadblock to mail carriers doing their jobs.
So in just a few weeks, we could see a dramatic increase in the volume of mail of people returning their ballots, which we are absolutely determined has to be done in a timely fashion so everyone's vote is counted.
Earlier today, U.S. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy reassured the Postal Service Board election mail would not be slowed down.
Now your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Doom.
It's just a beautiful Friday evening out there to wrap up yet another work week here in the state line. Let's have a live look over the Rochelle Airport using a Merciel SkyTrack. We're seeing lots of blue sky, lots of sunshine to accompany some very pleasantly warm temperatures. Temperatures currently in the upper 70s to lower 80s across the area. We're currently at 79 degrees down in Rochelle, whereas it's 83 here in Rockford, 78 in DeKalb, 78 as well over in Freeport, 82 for current temperature up in Janesville. Very dry conditions only adding to the comfortability. Humidity is very low in the 40 to 50% range or so. That will change, however, as we head on into the weekend. So our dew point temperatures only in the upper 50s today, making conditions very dry. However, we do have some very strong southerly winds, some very strong moisture advection, as we call it, coming up from the south just out to our west. This is chasing a system of low pressure up to our northwest, and as this system approaches us, we're going to tap into some of this moisture here. Temperatures, or I should say dew point temperatures, being pulled into the upper 60s by tomorrow. They reach the lower 70s for both Sunday and for Monday, and with temperatures on the rise, this is going to make things feel very warm as we head on through the weekend, even kick off our next work week before conditions do dry out following a cold frontal passage come midday on Tuesday. So temperatures forecast to reach the upper 80s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and with these dew points rising into the upper 60s, low 70s, we're talking heat indices to the lower, even middle 90s through your weekend. So it is definitely going to be very warm, a lot warmer than we've been in quite a while here in the state line. We haven't seen any rain today for our Friday, just some partly cloudy skies overhead. For the time being, we are still under the influence of this very strong high pressure system situated up to our northeast. However, if we zoom out, we can see that we are keeping an eye on this low pressure storm system that's situated up to our northwest. This will likely give us a few decent rain chances as we head on into the weekend. So looking ahead with our future cast, we're going to hang on to just some partly cloudy skies overhead through the rest of the night here and into tomorrow. We're going to kick things off with a good mix of cloud cover and sunshine, but we could start seeing some scattered showers, possibly a few thunderstorms as well as early as the late morning, mid-afternoon or so, and even stretching into parts of the evening. We should dry out, even though this model likes to disagree with me a little bit. We should dry out mostly through the overnight hours from Saturday into Sunday, but come Sunday we do see another system, a much more organized system of showers and some embedded thunderstorms come through early Sunday. That's going to leave us with a pretty good chance for some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms here and there to wrap up your weekend on Sunday. So temperatures tonight are going to be very seasonable. They're going to fall into the lower 60s. Once again, we're not expecting any rain for the rest of the night, just a few clouds overhead through the night tonight. And into tomorrow, we're going to see some partly cloudy skies to accompany some isolated showers and a few thunderstorms here and there throughout much of our Saturday. High in the mid to upper 80s. Some high humidity, though, could make things feel closer to 90 degrees. You can see we actually do see a few very good chances for showers and storms through the weekend and even into the upcoming week here. However, temperatures holding steady, remaining nice and warm in the middle to upper 80s through the end of next week. Eric and Mimi.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lepper.
Another COVID-19 case has derailed the Cubs-Cardinals game tonight in St. Louis. It's been postponed. Another Cardinals player has tested positive. That makes 8 Cardinals players in all who have tested positive over the past 2 weeks. The Cardinals have played only 5 games so far this season. The Cubs have 13 games under their belts. Tomorrow's game and Sunday's game are also up in the air. The White Sox will play ball tonight. They will host the Indians. The Sox have lost their last 2 games. They have Dylan Cease going tonight. Corey Anderson has had it with UFC. He's making the switch to Bellator to continue his MMA career. The Rockton native asked to be released from his UFC contract, and he was granted that release. He had been UFC's 4th-ranked light heavyweight, but he hasn't fought since February, and he hasn't seen eye to eye with UFC head man Dana White for a couple years now. A fresh start might be just what Anderson needs. Ryan Bader's the current Bellator light heavyweight champion. If he wins his next fight later this month, Anderson could get a title shot. The Blackhawks are a few minutes away from facing off against the Oilers in Edmonton. The Blackhawks can nail down this playoff qualifier series with a win. But the captain knows it's never easy finishing teams off.
It's having that killer instinct, but like you said, knowing that, every game this series has gotten tougher. It's going to be the toughest game coming up. I think their best players played well and capitalized for them, but we can expect a much better team game and for them to improve as we go along.
Fred VanVleet and the Raptors can nail down the number 2 seed in the NBA's Eastern Conference for the playoffs tonight. They'll do it with a win against the Celtics. An NIU's football team took field today in DeKalb for its first training camp practice. It was closed to the media. They practiced in 3 separate groups, and all the coaches and sports staff wore face masks. That's sports. We'll be right back.
It's been such a beautiful week with low humidity, lots of sunshine, and especially today it warmed up for the people who like it a little bit warmer out there.
We've been spoiled because we didn't have to deal with really too serious heat, right? We've had windows open at night,
which
air
has been
conditioners
really nice.
have gotten a break. That will change for the weekend though, right, Kevin?
It absolutely will change. Unfortunately, these very dry, very pleasant conditions are going to stick around for much longer. Temperatures did make it into the lower 80s today across most of the area. Right now, we're at 83 degrees in Rockford. It's cooled off into the 70s in a few spots. For instance, 78 degrees the current temperature in Rochelle. Same goes for DeKalb, still at 82 degrees right now in Janesville. Humidity isn't much of an issue today. Dew points only in the upper 50s or so, but that will change as we head on into tomorrow. Our humidity will really rise. That'll make things feel a lot warmer than they actually are. Temperature is also kicking up a few degrees, going to be in the middle to even upper 80s over the next several days. That could really drive up the heat indices as well. It's also going to drive up our rain chances. We haven't seen any rain today here in the state line, but that will change as we head on into the weekend. Tonight, though, conditions will remain dry. Temperatures only dropping into the lower 60s. We're in the middle 80s for tomorrow, although things could feel closer could feel closer to 90 degrees. Temperatures hanging on in the middle to upper 80s through the end of the week. Eric and Mimi.
Thanks, Kevin.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.